What's up, Facebook? DrMichaelVan here, author of Scientific Approach to Intermittent Fasting. And what I want to do is I want to show you my recap. I decided to do an extended fast, not an intermittent fast. And I'm actually in the middle of a 4-day fast. And I'm on day 3 right now. Before I go into that, you're probably wondering why I'm soaking wet right now. And as you can see, I'm on my daily beach walk. And I just got caught in the middle of a huge rainstorm, and actually a huge lightning bolt just blew off behind me. So wow, if you see a live lightning bolt behind, you know, cool. And that thunder is loud right now. But the reason why I wanted to do an extended fast in the first place is because, you know, there's been a lot of talk about all the benefits you get from, you know, bumping up your fast to greater than 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours to really turn on the autophagy. And over last weekend, we were on a Aspen trip with a bunch of good friends of ours. And during that 3-4 day trip, we ate all we wanted, you know, all the food we could think of. You know, we drank a lot more than usual. And so when I got home, I just kind of felt gross, just kind of just bloated, breaking out a little bit. And I just kind of wanted to do a really good detox, and just starting to eat clean after that, it's not going to be enough. I really wanted to jumpstart my detox and, you know, get to feel better. And there's no better detox out there than an extended fast. And so that's what I did. And at first I went into it only thinking I was going to do 24 hours. And I got to tell you, the hardest meal to not eat was the 24-hour mark dinner meal. And it was tough, especially when your wife's making, you know, really good food. You know, I decided to do my fast pretty spur of the moment, and my wife was just not down. So if I could give you any tip, make sure your significant other is doing the fast with you, because when they're cooking food and you've gone 24 plus hours without eating, it can be very difficult. And somehow I've been able to push through that. But I would say make sure your significant other is doing that. One thing I've been doing is I've really been focusing on trying to do strength training as well as hot yoga during my fasting periods each day. And the reason why is because the strength training, although your muscular strength is not going to be nearly up to par than what it usually is when you actually have some energy in your system, but strength training is going to help activate something called mTOR complex 1, which will actually upregulate your protein synthesis, which will prevent any excessive muscle loss during your fast, which obviously I don't want to lose any muscle, but you're going to get everything else. And Dr. Peter Attia, MD, actually turned me onto that idea of strength training, but your strength definitely is not going to be up to what it usually is, just so you know. And then I've been doing the yoga, and one thing that really helps is I have been drinking a lot of salt. And so I'm on a non-caloric extended fast, which means I do add non-caloric beverages. I'll do a cup of black coffee in the morning, and then I'll drink some herbal tea sipping throughout the day. And especially in hot yoga, I'll just take my huge Hydro Flask jug, add about half a teaspoon of some mixed Himalayan salt, as well as some Celtic sea salt, so you can up those minerals and up your salt intake, which is very prone to be lost in your system during a fast. So it's very important to up your salt, and you actually feel a lot better. I've had no headaches. I've had nothing of that sort. A cool thing you notice is after about day 2, about the 48-hour mark, your stomach literally shrinks. And so usually I could stick out my stomach pretty far out and kind of give myself an artificial pot belly. I can't even stick out my stomach right now. It just feels so small and just so tight. So it's almost like the most opposite version of being bloated at all. So it's pretty exciting, and that was one thing that's cool. My sleep, though, has not been very, I would say the sleep has been a little poor in quality. I just, right when I started the fast, I got my Oura Ring sent in the mail, and the Oura Ring will test your sleep quality, your REM sleep, deep sleep, and I've been getting decent REM sleep, but my deep sleep, I'm only at about 7% right now, which is honestly pretty horrible. So I noticed that I'm a little restless when I'm going through this fast. I don't know if that's just my sympathetic nervous system staying kicked in, but I'm seeing some comments on here that, you know, Adam just finished a 3-day fast. That's awesome, buddy. Resetting the immune system. It's exactly what it does. The autophagy, I mean, you're clearing out cellular waste products, and to really get that autophagy benefit, you got to do the extended fast, and so that's why I'm doing it. Ali, you're doing it like the Ramadan style, dry fasting for 16 hours, low carb eating window. Nice, love it. Should I do HIIT training while water fasting? Well, you certainly can try. I think it'd be good. I was more focused on, for the training aspect, I was more focused on maintaining my muscle mass and keeping up with my mTOR complex 1. So I didn't want to lose any muscle mass, but HIIT training certainly could, but I would honestly do a little bit more low intensity gym training while I'm on the fast personally, because the lower intensity exercises actually feel a little bit better while I'm on that. But go for it, you can give it a try. I don't think it'll have any downside effects. Mushroom coffee I think is awesome. The chaga, the lion's mane, all that. Mushroom's excellent. And Himalayan salt's great. I really like Celtic sea salt. I don't know who turned me onto that, but under spectrometry, sea salt, or the Celtic sea salt, seemed to be a little bit more superior than the Himalayan salt, but they're both great. And honestly, I use them both. So I would do both of those salts, very, very important. Can only drinking hot tea be considered fasting, or should I drink water? Anything that's non-calories is fasting, because you're not putting any calories in your system. So I think herbal tea in 1 cup of black coffee I think is totally fine. And that's the one thing I notice. I'm coming up to the 72-hour mark right now on my fast, and that's when most people say that you get the most benefits, which seems to be a pretty big consensus in the research. And who knows? To me, I feel like if 72 hours is really the sweet spot, I may want to do an additional 24 after that to really get the benefits. But going through one more night of my wife making good dinner and me smelling that and wanting that, it sounds great. But I will tell you that day 3 has been the easiest so far. I'm not hungry. I feel a little bit better. So I think today would be a lot easier for me to resist the temptations of eating. But I urge you guys to give it a try. It's really not that bad. I've done a lot of 24-hour fasts in the past, but it's been a while since I've done an extended one, over a year. And so I really felt like after my Aspen trip, it'd really be a good time to jumpstart that and really just feel like myself again and get back to get back in the game. Jackie, can you do bone broth? Bone broth is good, but it also is a food and it has calories. So bone broth, if you're doing like a bone broth fast or a different kind of modification of a fast, you can certainly use bone broth, but I'm going to stick with bone broth right after my fast. In fact, bone broth is one of the best things you can actually utilize to break your fast because of the huge, powerful benefits it has on your gut, which also fasting helps with too. So bone broth, I wouldn't necessarily do it during my extended fast, because I think that if you just do strictly no calorie fasting, you're going to get the most benefits. It might be a little bit more difficult, but I think the benefits completely outweigh just to make it a little bit easier. And I always want the biggest bang for my buck, and so I'm just going complete 0 calories this time. But I'll let you know how it is. I'm continuing to do it, and we'll see. So if you have any questions, let me know, but you guys can do it. All right, DrMichaelVan signing off.